Instagram has just revealed exactly how to improve your Instagram videos and reels to get more reach, more engagement, build your audience, and hopefully turn that into leads and customers. So I'm going to break it all down for you, walk through what they're saying, and add my own 2 cents and experience to each of these points based off my 8 years of growing Instagram accounts and gaining millions of followers in the process and making millions for clients. Okay, I don't want to waste any of your time, so let's dive straight into my screen, and you can see this post here that I've pulled up from the @creators Instagram, which says tips for success on Instagram video and reels. The caption goes on to say the possibilities are endless with Instagram video, whether you use it to grab followers' attention and keep them hooked, show your personality, or have more room for storytelling. Here's our cheat sheet on how to use Instagram video to your advantage. So let's dive right into it. So the first thing is some tips for Instagram video and reels. First thing they mention is the first 3 seconds are crucial. Capture attention and dive straight into your message. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, this is word for word what I've been saying ever since Instagram Reels have come out. I've literally gone on and on, get straight into the video, get straight into the value, have a hook. That's what I've been preaching to you guys for over a year. So it's good that Instagram can back that up. But people don't realize how important this is. And this goes for any form of content. Video content, image content, it goes for any platform. So this is relevant for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any platforms that come out in the future. It is so important to capture people's attention, get straight into the message, and say what you're going to say. The reason for this is because most people will back out of a video in those first few seconds. If I look at a retention graph on my YouTube channel, the majority of people who are going to leave the video will leave in that first 60 seconds, and that's for a 10-15 minute YouTube video. In a reel, it's going to be in those first 2 to 3 seconds. Once someone has got past that, they are interested by what you've said in those first few seconds or first minute if it's a YouTube video, and they get into the video, the drop off just slows very much, and you'll get a few people leave here, a few people leave there, but those few seconds are so crucial because that's where you're going to get the best return on your time spent optimizing. For example, if you have a 30-second reel, those first 3 seconds will probably account for like 1/3 of the people that leave the video, even though it's only 10% of the video. Whereas if you try and optimize the middle of it, maybe that 10% section only causes 5% of people to leave. So it's a much harder thing to improve. So you're gonna get by far the most bang for your buck by focusing on those first 3 seconds, having a powerful hook to get people to actually commit to watching the video. And if you can do that well, then all you really have to do for the rest of the video is just not stuff it up by being boring. Which, like they say, dive straight into your message, give the value in the video. It's what I've literally been preaching for months. And like I say, that applies to any platform. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any format of content. If you're creating carousels, you want to hook people with that first slide. If you're posting single image educational posts, you want to hook people with a strong headline to get people to click, etc. It goes for advertising. You want to hook people in with that strong headline and then deliver what they want. It's pretty fundamental marketing, and that should be the focus. Because if you learn the fundamentals and you understand how to capture and hold attention, you can literally apply that to any platform. Whereas if you try and learn a specific thing that's only relevant on Instagram, like a little editing glitch, then that's not as valuable over the long run for you as an entrepreneur. Now, the second point they make is that video is consumed vertically, which you should know. If you're scrolling through your phone, it's always vertical video. So capture your content vertically for the best viewer experience. And again, this just makes your video more engaging, because if someone's looking at a horizontal video on a phone where the whole screen is being taken up, it makes it harder to watch. It makes it further, like it's more zoomed out, and it's just not as interesting or captivating, which means people are going to click off. And when people click off your video or swipe to the next one or scroll to the next post, that decreases your watch time, and that will hurt your content in the algorithm. So either record it on your phone like this, or if you're recording on a camera like what I'm recording now for YouTube and you want to repurpose it for Instagram Reels, you can zoom out a little bit. So if I were to sit back here, hopefully you can still hear me okay, and and then you can just cut the middle third into a vertical clip. Sometimes that's what I'll do for creating reels. I'll use my nice camera and I will zoom it out a little bit so that I can afford to crop that middle third and then use that for vertical video. And then the third one is, again, a point that I've made over and over and over again on this channel. Make sure to always include copy or captioning throughout the video to make it accessible for people watching with sound on or off. And I think this is most important once again in those opening few seconds. Now, I remember seeing a stat a while ago, I'm not sure if it's still accurate, that about 50% of people consuming content on Instagram are doing so without listening to anything. Now, over time that may change as video content becomes more prominent on the platform. More and more people may be listening with sound, or should I say consuming with sound, because if that don't have sound on, they're not listening. But either way, a large proportion of people are not listening to content when they're consuming it, or they're not at the start, which means if your video has no text on it, no captions on it, no subtitles on it, then that 50% of the market who are consuming content on Instagram will skip past your video. They might watch it for 1 or 2 seconds and then they realize there's no text there, there's no reason for them to watch it. Like if you come across a reel that's got no text on it and you see someone talking without any sound on for a couple seconds, unless you try to find them extremely attractive or it's someone that you already know, you're probably just going to keep scrolling because there's nothing to stop you from doing that. And because of that, that can massively decrease your watch time, because you've got half of the people who see your content are only watching it for 1 or 2 seconds. And if the reel is, say, 30 seconds long and you've got a bunch of people watching it for 2 seconds, that's a bunch of people who, like half of the people who watch it are only watching 7% of it, which will kill your average watch time. It'll bring it so low, because even if other people are reacting to it well, that brings the average down so low and will decrease your reach, which again is why you will often see a lot of people will have subtitles on their videos, or at least mention the key points in text on the screen, or at the very least will have text at the start to get people interested in watching. Because even if you're consuming content on Instagram without listening, and you scroll down and you see someone talking to the screen, and then they've also got text on there of how to get a 6-pack in 60 days, and that's something you're wanting to do, you may not be listening, but you will probably then turn the sound on if that's something you really want to learn. I know I would personally turn the sound on that. If I was scrolling through Instagram, not listening, that came up, I'd turn the sound on. Or if I saw someone say, how to improve your Instagram marketing strategy, I might turn the sound on and I might start listening to it. And then by simply adding text, they have turned me from someone that would swipe through after 1 or 2 seconds and hurt their watch time to someone who's going to watch the entire video, learn from them, and maybe become a follower. So at the very least, have text to entice people in the opening slide, in the opening few seconds, or at best include subtitles or at least the main points in text throughout the video, because some people may not watch with the sound on at all for the entire reel, and they just read the subtitles, which is totally acceptable. Now, getting into the next part where it's going to go over audio in video and reels. Get inspired by audio already trending in the Reels tab. Save the audio button to use in your own video later on, or as a bonus, always remember to check out the music library to see recommended audio for you. So this is a pretty cool place where you can find some inspiration for what audios you want to use. Personally, I don't use a whole lot of trending audios on Instagram. I might start using it. I've always found that for my niche, maybe not the best way to get followers, because by using trending audio, I would get 10 times more followers. But for getting clients, getting targeted people who turn into customers for my business, it's better to lead with value. So instead of lip syncing to a popular song and having some text come up on the screen, I'm better off to sit down and record a 30-second clip of me dropping some insights on how to do this, how to do that, how I was able to do that, how a client was able to do this. It'll get less reach, but it'll get me more customers. And so that's my focus. But if you're trying to build an audience and you're focused on that side of things, trending audios are so powerful. And you can relate it to your business too. You can find a trending audio and find a way to relate it to your niche, which works totally fine. Side note, if you are a business owner looking to build your audience on Instagram and you do want my help, you can book a call with me down below and we'll have a chat to see how we can best help you build your audience and start generating more customers and income from Instagram. Whether you're an influencer that's looking for help monetizing, whether you're a business looking for help getting more customers, or whether you simply want someone to manage it for you, we can help. Have a look down below. Back into the video, and the second point they make is create original audio using your own voice. This way it creates a new audio page where other creators can use it in their reels and attribute it back to you, helping you get discovered. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's going to be pretty hard to create an audio that goes viral, although worth trying. I think one way to do this really well is if you sort of do something that becomes a trend. So for example, one of my friends, Adrian Brambilla, who I actually met in the US a couple years ago, he recently had a audio go, not viral, but reach a bunch of people on TikTok because he created like a montage of different videos, and over it he was defining the new rich, people who weren't worried about the fancy cars or the college degrees or the big houses, and instead were focused on time freedom. And he made like a 15-20 second audio clip, sort of defining that, saying we are the new rich, we focus on this instead of that, put some cool clips behind it, and then a lot of people jumped in on that challenge and did that too, where they would use his voiceover and then simply add in their own clips. And that did pretty well for him. That gained him a bunch of new followers, and I think that's entirely possible, but quite hard to do, I would say. And that's probably going to come from a lot of practice and doing it a lot, which he does. Sliding on to the continued part of audio and video plus reels, they finish this off with build a narrative using voiceover. Lead your audience through a video by explaining the steps of a beauty tutorial, cooking a dish, or giving a room tour. Pro tip, add trending audio in the background so more people can discover your video. So this again is really good for people creating informative content. You can literally set up your phone like on something here, film down at your hands, I'll put my hands here, weird, and do something, whether you're, like they say, doing a beauty tutorial, cooking a dish, and you film the video and then you go back in whilst editing, you record the voiceover, and then it explains what you're doing in real time, and it looks really good. Like they say, add some trending audio softly in the background, because again, if you add that, it makes it more interesting, because these artists that are creating this music are working with some incredibly intelligent people to create captivating music that keeps people engaged. That's the job of these musical artists, is to create beats, create lyrics, create harmonies that keep people listening. Like, that's what they're doing. And the best ones, the most viral ones, are the ones that are the most successful at that. So you might as well harness that with your content by adding it, so you get people to watch your content for longer, which allows you to then make grow your audience faster, get more reach, because Instagram will push your content to more people. And then finally, branded content in Reels and video. Now, this is probably one that a lot of you may do, may not do, but for those of you who are influencers creating branded content, first thing is be transparent. Use the paid partnership label, pretty straightforward, just so everyone understands your relationship with the brand. Second part is highlight the brand's product front and center. This is important to the brand and helps you remain authentic with your followers. I will say that not everyone does that. A lot of people have very subtle brand placements where they might be paid to wear something, but they don't actually mention it, and they don't actually tell people to go buy it, but just the fact that it's a celebrity wearing it promotes the brand and gives it value. But just I don't necessarily think you always have to put the brand product front and center. It could be something off to the side that is just helpful or useful. It depends on your arrangement. And finally, be yourself. The brand picks you. Strike a balance between featuring the product and maintaining your unique perspective, voice, and aesthetic. And this is something I would very much agree with. When it comes to brand deals and doing that there, don't just take any and every brand deal that's going to pay you some money and send you some product, because if it doesn't fit your brand, it's going to hurt your brand. The way that I think you should look at this, and the way that I try and look at this, is you have your brand and you don't change your branding for a brand deal. If you stick with your message and you define yourself as that brand, as that person who has this opinion, who does this, who likes this, who stands for this, and you have that brand, and then you don't change that to fit a brand deal. Instead, you find companies that fit that and that fit that narrative, and then you have them sponsor you. And because of that authenticity, you'll probably have a much more loyal audience. You'll probably then be able to generate a lot more customers for these brands. and you will then probably get paid a lot more to do so, because the typical old school influencer who is just sort of known for their looks and now just gets paid to promote anything and everything, I know from a lot of people, they don't generate many sales, which means their long-term value is not going to be that great. Whereas a more niche creator that stands for something, that believes in this, that does this and does things differently and doesn't change to try and be politically correct or change to try and go with the masses, is going to build a cult following that is incredibly valuable. And that's part of the reason why I don't really do brand deals, because I teach people Instagram. And for that, I don't really use a lot of tools. I use Flick, the hashtag tool that you've probably heard me talk about a ton. I occasionally use Canva to create some content. I use TubeBuddy to, rank my videos. And I use a few other tools, the likes of ClickFunnels for my hosting of my business. But when it comes to Instagram itself, the only tool that I really use is Flick. And so it doesn't make sense for me to change my brand to try and promote this tool or promote that tool and promote this tool. Because yes, whilst I could charge them a few $1,000s for a video, in the meantime, over the long term, you just get to know me as someone that's just, promoting shit to make a quick buck. And that's not really what my brand is. And so instead, I try and stick to the whole transparent, this is what I do, this is what you should do to get results. And I think in the long run, that's going to serve me much better than trying to change myself constantly to take brand deals I don't agree with. So anyway, to recap how you can get the best results with Reels and video, make that first 3 seconds really compelling, so it hooks people in to watch more. Make sure the video is vertical, and always use some form of subtitle or text on the screen for people that are consuming content without sound on. Go ahead and use trending audios if relevant to your niche. Create original audios using your voice, and have a background tune that is popular in the background, and create voiceovers, another great thing. Now, when it comes to brand deals, be transparent, highlight the brand's product front and center. Not sure I agree with that one, but Instagram has said it. And be yourself. Stick to what you believe and build your brand that way. That's it from me. Hope this video helped. If you want to get my free training, that's linked down below. I'll link everything else down below. If you want to work with me, you can book a call down there. We'll have a chat, see how we can help you. And the tools that I mentioned earlier that I use for Instagram will also be linked down below as well. I put together some free classes on Skillshare, which you can watch. So they're down below as well. That's it from me. Hope this video helped you. See you in the next one.